Okay, we just used the forklift. We got these first 6 panels up here. Now we're gonna get up there and place those on the racks.
Alright, now this is going to flip all the way over into where I'm standing right now. Alright, careful, don't get your fingers, because it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
But it's going to sit so that the upper control arm is butting up against the lower control arm.
Yep.
Are you to the point, so you know the bolts we just put in on the panel?
Yep.
That lower control arm should be between that and the upper.
Okay. Yep, so we're good.
Okay, so then push it out now.
This way or that way?
That way. And you just want to line this hole up with, so keep going out. There you go.
Okay, I need to be on the inside of this thing.
Yes, yes, sorry.
Either way? Okay. Alright, now we're
But so you'll see the upper
bolts.
control arm goes between,
Yeah.
and the bolts
Yeah.
are all between.
So those bolts right there catch on this
Those are
guy.
pretty stable, just sitting like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What do you want to do? We'll go on this outside one. Lift it up, and you got to bolt it in right there. Just like that.
And we're placing we like to place those the flat washer and the lock nut on the side where the thumb bolt is, and then the
And then
wing nut on the
other one
outside.
just goes on all the way on the outside of the
Okay.
the lower swing arm.
And that just allows us to, when you take these off, you're not losing these little nuts and stuff on the ground. So it just kind of helps in that regard.
And you want to make sure you get it pretty tight, because we're
Look how tight that is too, like this right level with that post. Well done. Sometimes it helps to take off a little bit of the weight there.
There we go. Yeah.
how's your gap? So are you pretty tight on those then?
Oh, it's the thumb screws? Yeah, they're tight.
Okay. So now what is your gap between the post and, so not the rubber cap, but the actual post and the panel?
We're looking at 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little tight.
What are you looking on yours?
I'm just under a quarter, so we're gonna have to move this way a little bit.
Okay.
So how's yours now?
It's about a quarter.
Yeah, about a quarter.
You're at about a quarter.
Maybe a little less.
Cool. So right now we're just making sure that the gap is even on both sides on these posts, and you can kind of see how close of a tolerance you're dealing with when you're setting up these systems. And so these measurements have to be super precise when you're putting this in. The next step we want to do is also make sure that this right here is pretty well straight up and down, all the way down. So that's the second thing we look for.
Yep, how's your side over there, bro? This actual, is it pretty straight up now?
Yeah.
Okay, so now
Yep.
just bolt down tight the outside two on each one of those.
Yeah, so like we tighten down this guy, and then one on the other side over there, and then we can then move the panels and test it.
Oh, yeah, it's just.
Great.
smash your fingers with this wrench. So
Yeah.
don't
Yeah, that gets fun. Okay, awesome.
So now this one's ready. We're gonna, well, we'll test fit it really quick. So if you want to undo this side, now that we've tightened them down good.
Maybe we'll take the weight off a bit on it. There you go.
Got it.
Yep. So now we can take this.
Barely misses that vent.
So it does start to bind right there just slightly, but it's not bad.
Yep, and this is how they'll sit usually. For our purposes, we're gonna flip them all this way though.
Yep. Gonna lay that back down. That
It's not
function,
optimized for the sun.
well, you could do a lot of it. Like that will optimize 95% of what you would want to tilt it.
No, I was saying if you tilt them all 90, it does not optimize.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's not very helpful. Maybe if you're in Alaska and I don't know,
That's true.
some application, but okay, we just got the second panel up, and this is kind of a good example of these being able to come together in the middle. So this is going to allow us to do the remaining work on the waterproofing, the cable work, and everything without having, along with the connections for the solar panels, without these being in the way. So we'll have full access to the roof, get everything done, and that's one of the benefits of these systems is we have that functionality and ability. So anyway, kind of fun to see that and get that all figured out. So okay, I jumped up here up top with the guys. We're just gonna give you guys a check and see what we're doing here.
Hola.
We got the Bo here is putting in the rest of these bolts, and one thing it's kind of fun to take a look at and see here. We stuck, sorry there, Bo. I don't mean to shove my way in here, but
You're fine.
we initially did these two bolts right there and there yesterday, and if you notice, this butyl tape is now kind of squishing its way out of these holes. And what happens is with this on there, it pushes pressure down on the plate, and that will then start pushing up and out, this is what we want. We want that butyl tape to spread out and kind of create that waterproof seal. Well, now we can then go through and put more bolts in and sink it down, and it's not going to settle in and loosen as much. So we'll put those bolts in, and we'll retighten these two if need be, and then it should be good to go for the lap sealed on top. So anyway, I'll back up here and let Bo keep doing his thing here. Oh, wow.
Whatever's on the outside of this trailer is stout.
Yeah, look at that. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, that's all the ones on the. And one thing to note is you don't want to over tighten these and strip them out.
Yeah, they'll definitely do that. So we gotta make sure not to do that one. Cool. So it looks like there's some little metal or some trim or something along the outside edge there. It keeps it,
It's actually really nice.
yeah, so giving it a really good foundation there. There we be. Nice. All right, I'll get out of here. Okay, we now have all the waterproofing down, and we let it sit for the night. And now what we do is we go through and we just double check everything and make sure that there's no bubbles, and if there are, we hit it again. Now we have two different laps. They're using the die-core on top. We have a self-leveling for this side of things, and then on the very front side we have more of a non-self-leveling to help stick into the crack. We tape it off to make sure we have a crisp, clean line across the bracket there. We put it on and we take it off, and it leaves it looking really good. All right, and Grady wanted to show this real quick.
So you'll have, when you let it dry, these, you sometimes will notice them, but you want to find these because this is like a little air bubble right there.
Oh yeah.
And so you just want to poke them. It's no big deal. poke them, and then put a little dot of the sealant on them, and
Yep.
then they'll be sealed.
And there's a few more over here, it looks like, as well. But yeah, what happens is there's still air that sits underneath these. So with the temperature differences, you'll see this as well. If it gets warm and all that as well, we'll change a bit. So, but we usually will send our customers with a tube to check it once they get to their final home and all that, just to ensure that they have what they need to keep it waterproofed.